My daughter's swim teacher asked me, very carefully, why a 6-year-old flinches when someone reaches for the back of her neck. She spends every Saturday at my brother's. The swim teacher pulled me aside after class and said it quietly, like she didn't want to scare me. I'm not accusing anyone, but when I put my hand near the back of Emma's neck to adjust her, she froze. Kids don't do that unless they've learned to. I felt my stomach drop, but I made myself smile. She's just shy. The teacher held my eyes a second too long. Okay, but I've seen this before. I had to say something. I nodded and got Emma dressed, and the whole ride home I kept looking at her in the mirror. Baby, does anyone ever grab your neck? She got quiet. No, mommy, too fast. You can tell me anything. She just stared out the window. Every Saturday for a year, I dropped her at my brother Dale's so I could work my double. He was great with her, or I thought he was. That night I gave her a bath, and when I reached to wash her hair, she flinched and pulled her shoulders up to her ears. Emma, who does that to you? She started crying. I'm not supposed to say. Uncle Dale says it's our game. My hands went numb. What game? She whispered. The quiet game. If I stay quiet, he stops squeezing. I wanted to drive straight to his house and put his head through a wall, but I made myself think. If I stormed in screaming, he'd have a story ready, and it'd be my word against his, and Emma would be the one they questioned for hours. So I did something worse for him. I said nothing. The next Saturday, I dropped her off like always. Have fun, baby. I kissed her head. Then I sat in my car down the street and called the one person Dale trusted more than anyone. Our mother. Mom, I need you to go to Dale's right now and just walk in. Don't knock. Tell him you were in the neighborhood. She thought I was being dramatic. Why on earth? Please. Just do it and call me the second you're inside. 20 minutes later, my phone rang and my mother's voice was shaking so hard I could barely understand her. The door was locked. I could hear Emma crying through it. He wouldn't open it, Diana. He wouldn't open the door. I was already doing 70. Call 911. Tell them a child is locked inside and being hurt. Now. I got there the same time as the police. My mother was pounding on the door screaming her son's name. An officer knocked hard. Sir, open the door. Silence. Then Dale's voice, weirdly calm. Everything's fine in here. She just fell. The officer looked at me. I said, that's not his kid. That's mine. Open it or break it. They broke it. Emma was in the corner of the living room with her knees to her chest and red marks on the back of her neck. 4 little fingerprints already bruising. Dale was standing there with his hands up doing the exact soft voice I knew he'd have ready. Officers, she's clumsy. She fell against the counter. My sister's crazy. I didn't say a word. I just walked to Emma, crouched down and asked her gently, baby, can you show the police officer the quiet game? And my 6-year-old looking at the cop reached up with her own tiny hand and squeezed the back of her own neck and whispered, you stay quiet or it hurts more. The whole room went silent. Dale's soft voice finally cracked. She's confused. She doesn't. The officer wasn't listening to him anymore. He crouched down to Emma's level. Sweetheart, does it happen anywhere else? Not just here. She shook her head hard. Only Saturdays. Only when mommy's at work. That's when the second officer took Dale's arm and Dale started talking fast. The calm finally gone. She's lying, kids lie. You can't take a child's word. Except it wasn't just Emma's word. Because while my mother had been pounding on that locked door, she'd been recording the way I'd told her to before she even walked up the steps. And on that video, clear as day, right before the door opened, was my brother's voice hissing, if you cry when they come in, we don't get to play anymore. They played it for him right there in the living room, and I watched my brother's face fall apart as he realized the quiet game was over, and he was the one who couldn't stay quiet anymore.